wires crossed. We're wasting time on stuff that doesn't really matter, while wishing for something better. I try to fix things that weren't broken, misunderstandings and words unspoken. We fall apart and I won't dare to say, do you feel the same way? Maybe you don't wanna know, but you don't see.
Hello friends, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoy today's video. I would imagine if you clicked on it, it is something that you are interested in and that you like to watch and spend your time doing. And if you saw the title, this video is like lots of planning and prepping for fall and winter and so much more. We are doing so much in today's video. We will be making homemade tomato sauce from my garden. Those are all tomatoes that I have grown or bought locally from other farmer people and markets. And then I'm also making some homemade veggie broth with all the veggie scraps that I have been saving in my freezer to make this veggie broth. And then I have some garlic that I will be mincing up and putting in the freezer to have like minced cubes. I am so happy to do that because it's just easier than chopping everything up when I want to use fresh garlic. They'll already be minced and in the freezer, so I can just pop them into stews, soups, or just any kind of meal that I am cooking. And then I also have some meal planning egg bites and breakfast burritos. So there is so much we are doing in today's video, so I hope you enjoy all of it. Today's video is much longer than I normally have my videos, but there is so much motivation and so much getting done in this video, and just lots of preserving and planning and preparing and just all that fun stuff.
No, I don't wanna waste my time. No, no, I don't wanna waste my time. I still recall the first time I saw you. I was so nervous to talk. Happened so fast. Went from so lonely to falling asleep in your arms. I used to be afraid to fall in love. My past relationship was a disaster, but now I don't care, 'cause you took my scar.
So if you have made your own tomato sauce or tomato soup before, you would know that when you freeze and then thaw your tomatoes to start cooking with, they are very watery and you have to like peel off the skin and core them. So that is just why I'm doing the tomatoes that still have skins on them. I'm peeling all of that off, and I do decide to keep the skins because I do dehydrate them and then make my own tomato powder, and that can substitute tomato sauce or tomato paste, or you can make your own tomato paste with it. But I am coring them and then squeezing out a lot of the water and liquid, because as the tomatoes cook down, lots and lots of water and liquid come out of the tomatoes, and you really want to condense that as much as possible to make a sauce or a soup or a paste that you want at whichever consistency you want. I'm also chopping up some onions to add to my tomato sauce, and I will also throw in some garlic cubes that I've already minced and put in my freezer.
Broken heart, and numbed all the pain, showed me how to heal, and now I don't feel broken anymore.
Now that I have the tomato sauce all prepared and in my stock pot ready to cook down, I am going to start peeling and putting all of the garlic cloves in the bottle, because I'm going to put it in this little Ninja blender and pulse it and make it minced for me. I don't want it pureed, but I do want it very minced and still be able to have garlic little chunks. These are some of the garlics that I have grown from my garden, but then I also have some from produce stands just on the side of the street that are local, organic, and from other people's farms that they have grown.
Don't feel broken anymore. Numbed all the pain, showed me how to heal, and now I don't feel broken anymore.
So the other garlic that I did already mince and put into the freezer is in little ice cube shapes. These ones are just hexagon honeycomb shapes. I wanted some different sizes for different like ingredients and dinners and recipes, because sometimes I want a lot of garlic and sometimes I only want a little bit. So I do have them in different sizes for different meals. The next thing I am starting on while I am still condensing down the tomato sauce and the garlic is already done. Things are just getting marked off my list right away. It's going really well, and that's just so awesome when you have days like that. But anyways, I am starting my breakfast burritos to put into my freezer, and I do think I get around like 21, 22 just to have downstairs in my freezer to just have in the mornings when life is chaotic and we have school and it's a late morning and I just need a quick breakfast for my family. But I do add my own potatoes that I diced up really small, some ham and some sausage, And then I also add in eggs and then cheese, and then I just roll up in tortillas. I do normally make my own tortillas, but I did not want to use the ones I have in my freezer because those are for other meals that I want to make with those tortillas, whether it be different breakfast burritos or quesadillas or tacos or anything like that. I just want those for when I want to make different dinners. So I did just buy some regular tortillas to also make it a little bit more easier on me to meal plan and meal prep. But these breakfast burritos are delicious. I do wish I seasoned them a little bit more, but they are good, and they are just already meal prepped and meal planned, and they will be easy for the mornings.
It's been 4 weeks since you called, and I've been waiting here for you all along. I've been waiting here for you all along. Where you been? Where did you go? I wonder if you found what you're looking for. Wonder if you found what you're looking for. I hope it's not too late. I want you back. here with me. We never should have said it's better this way. I'd rather be with you than someone I don't know. Now it's like we're living in two separate worlds. Come on back to me, say that you won't go. I can't cope without you and I wanna hold you close. Say that you won't go. Say that you won't go. It's been so cold without you here. We barely said goodbye before you disappeared. It's been so cold without you here. I'm not gonna lie, don't know what I'd do without you. Maybe we could try to figure out a way to put our past aside. I've realized I only want you. I hope it's not too late. I want you back here with me. We never should have said it's better this way. I'd rather be with you than someone I don't know. Now it's like we're living in two separate worlds.
Now that I have the breakfast burritos done and ready to go down into the freezer, I am throwing in some more tomatoes, just canned tomatoes, to make it a bit thicker, as well as tomato paste to make the tomato sauce thicker. And then I also do season it and put some Italian and herb bouillon in the tomato sauce. And then I also do immersion blender it to get rid of all the chunks and make it more like a sauce.
I'd rather be with you than someone I don't know. Now it's like we're living in two separate worlds. Come on back to me, say that you won't go. I can't cope without you and I wanna hold you close. Say that you won't go. Say that you won't go. Say that you won't go. Say that you won't go.
I do also still have lots of basil out in my garden that is still growing and hasn't gone to seed yet, which is amazing. But I do have different types of basil. So I have like this globe basil, and it just is kind of like a mix of basils. It's really weird. And then I have a sweet basil, and I have like a Thai basil, I believe. So I did pick from all of those and threw a ton of it in my tomato sauce because I want a lot of the basil flavor. And then, like I said, I add tons of seasoning, so salt, pepper, rosemary, thyme, and then just more dried up basil that I've already preserved and already dehydrated myself. There's just so many different seasonings in this sauce, but that's just what gives it so much good flavor and just really makes it taste super yummy. And then, like I said, I also do add in that Italian herb better than bouillon in it, and I think that will just make it taste so much better. After I do all that to the tomato sauce, now I am moving on to my egg bites. And again, I add in egg, cheese, seasonings, some sausage and ham, and then I also throw in some frozen vegetables, and then I just plop them into the oven to cook. And this is my first time ever making egg bites, and not only making egg bites, but also putting them down in my freezer to use later on chaotic mornings and just mornings that we need a quick breakfast, like I said, for the breakfast burritos. But I am honestly so shook how many eggs they use. I guess it kind of makes sense, an egg for each cup, but I was honestly blown away with how many eggs it used to make all of these egg bites. I thought it was going to use much less eggs, and maybe it would have if I would have mixed all of the meats and cheese and eggs all together. Next time I make egg bites, I will definitely do that. It will be a quicker time to do all the egg bites and just make more sense. But like I said, it was my first time doing it, so I really had no idea how to do these egg bites and make them good.
I've been trying everything I can, but I ain't got nothing left. I've been running circles, trying to catch my breath. I've been trying everything I can. I ain't got nothing left. Nothing left. Nothing left. Waking up, feeling the taste of our fight last night. Breaking up, making a mess of an all good life. And now that you're gone, I'm thinking about old times. I've waited so long for this to be over. And now that I'm free from all the chains you've kept me in, I'll be okay. Now that I've found the only way to get myself home again, I'll be okay.
The egg bites do look really good. Like, they came out looking super yummy, so I am happy that they ended up turning out, and I cannot wait to eat them again on those really chaotic mornings. They would just be such a great breakfast, and I did make them over the weekend, and like I said, I did merge everything together. It made it so much easier. So once again, when I make a big batch to put into the freezer, I will definitely do that. But my son loves these egg bites. We always get the Starbucks egg bites, and he loves those. So I'm happy that now I can just make egg bites at home, and he likes them even more. He literally devoured so many of them. He loved the egg bites that I made for him.
Free from all the chains you've kept me in, I'll be okay. Now that I've found the only way to get myself home again, I'll be okay. I'll let you know I'll be alright. Now that I've found the only way to get myself home again.
So now that the tomato sauce that I made is at the consistency I prefer and I like, again, I am making my own tomato sauce because, first of all, I really do enjoy it. I love preserving the food that I grow and that I make for my family, and I know what's going in it, and it's very organic and just has really great ingredients instead of like the ones that you always buy from the store. So this is just something I really do enjoy. But the other reason is because I can make it the way that I like to, so I can use it in multiple different ways. I can make it in soups or stews, I can make it a soup, and I can also make it a marinara sauce to go on pizza. So that is just why I really do enjoy doing this, is because of the whole preserving. I get to leave it in the freezer and it can stay good for multiple months and pull it out when I'm ready to use it. And just because I can do so much with it, it really is an easy process too. I grew most of these tomatoes and then I just froze them, let them defrost when I was ready to use them, skin them and core them, and then just cook them down and use tons of my own seasonings that I like and prefer for my taste buds and to feed my family. So I'm just happy that I was able to get multiple cans, well, jars of this tomato sauce, and I just cannot wait to start using it for whichever I want to use it. I can also, I did forget to say this, just use it for spaghetti and pasta, for lasagna, for anything like that. So there's just so many reasons that I do enjoy to do this. Same with the veggie broth. I know that a lot of it is organic and it's coming from my garden. A lot of it is, or from the farmer's market. We've saved a lot of like the items to put in it, and then I can season it with what I want for the flavors that I want, and then use it the same way when I'm ready to use it, and just use it in all different ways. So I'm just happy I got to this, but I hope that you do enjoy this video so far. And as you can see, I did get lots of jars of that tomato sauce to put into my freezer.
I know you've got questions on your mind. Life is gonna happen one way or the other, whether you like.
So now I am getting to the veggie broth, and it is another day. It's the next day and it's early in the morning. The other day just went super quick and we did get a lot done, but it was definitely a lot. So that is just why I'm dressed differently. But I am getting to the veggie broth and throwing in as many scraps as I can. I did have like 5 bags of veggie scraps. That includes like potatoes, carrots, celery, that I will show you that is from my garden, and then onions, garlic, just tons of scraps. There's also some squashes like butternut squash and pumpkin, just a lot that we've been saving from last time I made veggie broth, which was in March, and now here in September I am making a new batch of veggie broth since we did go through the last batch in those 6 months, or something like that, 5 to 6 months. But it's really easy to make veggie broth. You just throw in as many scraps as you can all the way to the top, and then you throw in water and just let it come to a boil and a simmer pretty much as long as you want. I normally go from like 3 to 6 hours, just honestly as long as I can do it. If I'm doing other things in the meantime, like organizing, cleaning, decorating, just getting to my family, doing work, or going out in my garden, I just let it go as long as I want, and then I add seasonings and strain it and then jar it up. So it's really easy, and it's just a very simple thing to do to make your own broth. And then this is my celery. This is my first time ever growing celery, and so I am doing my very first harvest. So I'm just cutting the celery stems from the celery stalk. I do not want to pull it because I definitely want another harvest. It's not very stalky, it's very leafy, but it works the same way, and it was really, really tasty. It definitely could grow more. But I was ready to throw into my veggie broth. I do still have 2 more stalks out there, and these stalks are actually already growing back. It's crazy how fast they are growing back. So I cannot wait to harvest again from these stalks. And then I do want to try to overwinter them, so I do want to cover them and see if they will survive the winter and the frosts, so I can get them again next year. If they do end up dying, that's totally fine. I will plant more. I do just get them from a local farmer next to where I live. They grow celery, and that's where I actually bought these ones. But I am just so happy I got my first batch of homegrown celery right out of my garden, and just organic and great. But yeah, I threw it into my veggie broth because I do love to add celery to my veggie broth. I don't really ever cook with celery, but it is good in veggie broth.
You will grow up in the blink of an eye and move out and be on your own. But no matter what comes your way, I will stay right here beside you to catch you if you fall. And deep and abiding, liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything I can for you. Deep and abiding, liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything I can for you.
So here is the garlic that is minced and frozen. Since I did that the day before and I put it in the freezer overnight, they are already frozen. So now I'm going to take them out of this mold, and that's just the size of them. They're really small, but a good size to add to food when you're cooking. And then I just place them in the bag with my other garlic, minced garlic cubes, just to store back into the freezer until I'm ready to use them.
It's nothing new, but it's so good to see you. Do this every day, and I'm still so amazed by you.
As the broth is boiling and making the veggie scraps softer, the water is turning much darker because it is making a broth with all the veggie scraps. And I do let it boil and just simmer and cook for hours upon hours. I also do season it every once in a while. I keep adding more and more seasonings just so that there's lots of flavor, because that's honestly what I really want. And as I cook with it in different soups and stews that I make with the veggie broth, I do keep seasoning it because I am a lover for seasonings. Like, I just love seasonings. It adds so much flavor. But I do add lots of onion powder, garlic powder, Italian seasoning, and rosemary. I do add a couple more seasonings, but right now I really don't remember what they are. I just remember those four. But then I also do add in better than bouillon. I add in veggie broth bouillon, and then Italian herb bouillon, and then sauteed garlic bouillon. And then they also do have a sauteed onion, but I did not find that one at my store this time, but I did find the Italian herb, which is a new one that I'm using, and it just, again, adds so much flavor to the veggie broth.
I can't believe you love me, oh, oh, oh. I just feel so lucky, oh, oh, oh. Still can't believe you love me. Falling into your arms, dancing up in the stars. Oh, where I'd rather be than with you.
now that it has been a good while, like more than a few hours, I am going to start straining it, and this part is pretty difficult because it is hot and heavy, and you want to strain the liquid from the veggie scraps into different bowls, especially if you have a lot of it. I did end up getting 2 full pots of veggie broth that I got to can into all different containers and jars, but this part is very difficult because it's just heavy and you want to get as much liquid as possible because it literally is just so delicious, and you're making it all day long, so you do want to try to preserve as much of the broth as possible.
Hey, I heard you want to leave this place where we grew up, this old town, just put it all behind. Remember you and I would always find somewhere to hide when we were kids, so we could see and hear the water run. The river's gonna cry when you're gone. You miss the ones you know. I'll be here, hanging on, waiting for your call. Seems like time as a wave passing by, leave a mark in our minds that turn to memories. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're. River's gonna cry when you're. River's gonna cry when you're gone. Hey, I was hoping you would stay, but I've always known you would go and find your own way. I still see when we climbed up in those trees, 12 years old, to feel the wind and watch the river run. And the sun would always shine when we sat there, you and I. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're. River's gonna cry when you're. River's gonna cry.
And now it is time to jar it up. I definitely could have strained it a couple more times because there are some scraps in the broth, but now I will just, when I defrost it to use it, I will strain it before I pour it into my soup or stew. And honestly, it doesn't bug me too much. It's already scraps, but there definitely are more scraps than I would prefer, but it is vegetable broth, and so that's just what kind of happens when you do make your own veggie broth, is that those scraps that you are using, since they are condensing, they can fall through the strainer and get into the broth, and then you jar it up. So sometimes that happens, but if it does, just defrost it when you're ready to use it the night before, and then just strain it before you add it to your food. Since I did make so much, and this broth is really good for flu season. I remember last year when I was sick and my family got sick, I had some veggie broth on hand because I made it before flu season, just like now, and I warmed it up in cups for us to sip on while it was hot, and it was honestly the best thing ever. It was so delicious, and it made the throat feel so good. So that is also why I am making some single servings in these cube trays. So I have this bigger cube tray that is just for single servings, and then this one that is just little ice cubes. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the ice cubes, but it can add flavor to things. Just pop in a little ice cube, or I could throw in multiple of them and make like a little bowl for my son, whatever it needs to be. But it's just really good for flu season, so I'm happy to have lots of jars of this, as well as cubes and single servings of this veggie broth. I do also plan to make chicken broth later this year, like in a couple of weeks, and hopefully I can film that and share it with you guys. But I'm happy that I got so much veggie broth and so much done this weekend in this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because I have lots of preserving on my channel already and lots of just gardening and decorating and cleaning. But I hope that you enjoyed today's video and sticking around and hanging out with me, and I will see y'all again next time. Bye, friends.